Hello friends. Today I thought we might read a little bit more and this time take a look at 100 things to know about the oceans. So I think instead of going in order, this time I might just randomly choose a few of the 100 and we can maybe learn some things about the oceans together. I really enjoy these little fact books. It almost feels like trivia in a way. Okay. So let's just randomly stop on a page. Number 42. Specks of plastic in the ocean outnumber the stars in the Milky Way. Our solar system is part of the Milky Way galaxy, a vast swirling disk of dust, planets, and up to 400 billion stars. That may seem like a lot, but the Earth's oceans are polluted by trillions of pieces of plastic. This plastic waste can last for hundreds of years, slowly leaking chemicals and poisoning animals that swallow it. Much of it is made up of microplastics, specks of plastic less than 5 millimeters or 0.2 inches across. These often form when larger pieces of litter break down over time. Like twinkling stars, microplastics seem small, but in fact there are so many that we may never clean them up. The only way to fight this huge problem is to use less plastic. Number 36. Castle Bravo was a bomb dropped on Paradise. In the 1940s and 50s, after the Second World War, the USA tested powerful nuclear weapons in a remote area of the Pacific Ocean near an island called the Bikini Atoll. One test, Castle Bravo, was one of the largest detonations in history. March 1st, 1954, a quiet day on Bikini Atoll. 1 second later, fireball. Nearby ships explode. 10 minutes later, mushroom cloud. Whole islands were destroyed. 1 week later, a huge crater 76 meters deep. All sorts of sea life died. Today, lots of life is returning to the area. Number 75. Underwater lights dazzle, startle, seduce, and confuse. Lots of sea creatures are bioluminescent, meaning their bodies produce light. The light does different jobs in different species. Some species contain fluorescent chemicals that glow under certain conditions. In others, the light is made by bacteria living inside the creature. Jellyfish. Confusing predators. Lots of jellyfish are bioluminescent. Some glow green or blue when they're disturbed to dazzle the predator. Anglerfish. Attracting prey. Anglerfish lure little fish into their open mouths with a light called an esca at the end of the stem called an elysium. Seeing in the dark. Barbelled dragonfish glow red. This allows them to see and eat little red creatures that would be otherwise invisible in dark, deep water. Startling predators. If firefly squid are attacked, they squirt out a big cloud of glowing liquid to confuse their predators. Camouflaging. Bristlemouth fish have a row of lights along their underside. For any predators looking up, this makes them blend in with the bright sky above. So there's a few of the examples there. .44. Ghost nets haunt the seas long after they've been lost. Fishing nets that have been lost or discarded at sea are known as ghost nets. A single ghost net can drift through the water for years, entangling and killing thousands of fish and other sea creatures. Tens of thousands of miles of fishing nets end up in the sea every year due to accidents or carelessness. Each can be up to 1.5 or 2.5 kilometers long, and they are nearly invisible underwater, making them almost impossible to avoid. Worst of all, most are made of strong, long-lasting plastics which won't break down for many decades. You guys can tell me if you prefer this sort of more random selection of facts, or if you'd rather go in order. I'm okay with either. Thought this might be kind of fun. .24. A drop of hagfish slime can stop a shark attack. Hagfish are boneless, sightless, ill-shaped fish that feed mainly on dead creatures at the bottom of the sea. Over time, they've developed an excellent, if slightly gross, way to defend against predators: slime. When attacked by predators such as larger fish or sharks, a hagfish releases goo from pores along the length of its body. Underwater, the goo expands quickly to 10,000 times its original volume, creating a sticky, smothering cloud of slime that clogs the attacker's mouth, eyes, and gills. To clean the slime off itself, a hagfish simply ties its boneless body into a knot. Then it slides the knot from one end of itself to the other, squeezing away the slime. That sounds gross. Number 83. The splash of a cannonball once marked a national border. A country's national border doesn't exactly follow its coastline. In fact, its rights and powers may extend for miles beyond its shore. For several centuries, just how far was decided by the range of a cannon shot. Today, most countries' territorial waters extend about 22 kilometers or 14 miles out from their coast. This zone of sea or ocean and the seabed below and air above belongs to them. International waters belong to no one. But until the mid-20th century, the amount of sea a country could claim was only as much as it could control by force. Since the maximum range of a cannon fired from land was about 3 nautical miles, a unit of distance used at sea and equal to about 1.85 kilometers or 1.15 miles, most countries agreed this would be the maximum extent that a country could claim for itself. This was known as the cannon shot rule. #51. Paper fishes reveal secrets of the ocean's past. For hundreds of years, Japanese fishermen have recorded prize catches by making inked fish prints called gyotaku. Again, I apologize for pronunciations. These prints aren't just a valued art form. They can also teach scientists about what once swam beneath the waves. Fishermen make gyotaku to celebrate a first catch, to boast about a big fish, or just because they enjoy them as works of art. To make one, they rub ink on a freshly caught fish, then carefully press a sheet of paper onto it. This makes a print showing the fish's exact shape and size and the pattern of its scales and fins. Afterwards, they can wash off the ink and eat the fish. Fishermen often note the details of when and where a fish was caught. Some scientists are using gyotaku as a source of data to see what kinds of fish were being caught decades or even centuries ago. This helps them understand how the oceans have changed over time. Here's an example of gyotaku. Number 70. Some lifeboats sink before they float. All large ships carry lifeboats to transport the crew to safety in case of emergency. Conventional lifeboats are lowered on cables or ropes from the ship to the sea, but this takes time, sometimes too much time. Some vessels, such as oil tankers, can catch fire and explode. Instead of conventional lifeboats, they carry free-fall lifeboats, specially designed to evacuate the crew rapidly. If disaster strikes, the ship's crew scramble aboard the lifeboat and strap themselves in. Then the lifeboat slides down a track and plummets to the sea below, plunging in and sinking beneath the waves, before bobbing up a short distance away, ready to speed off to safety. The lifeboats can safely fall up to 50 meters or 164 feet and hit the water at a speed of up to 110 kilometers or 70 miles per hour. An upside-down flag means trouble afloat. When a ship at sea is in distress, the crew can send out a call for help using radios, phones, or satellite beacons. But if all else fails, all you need is a flag. These are distress signals recognized by sailors around the world, and some have been in use for centuries. National flag upside down a national flag knotted in the middle, N and C flags from a set of alphabetical signal flags used at sea, a crew member waving arms up and down, a square black flag over a black ball, a red star flares or rockets. Captains are required by international laws and conventions to come to the aid of another vessel in distress. Here's a few examples of the analog distress signals. Let's do a couple more. Number 64. An egg-shaped ship conquered the Arctic ice. On the 13th of August, 1896, a ship called the Fram sailed out of dense polar ice near the islands of Svalbard. It had spent 3 years exploring the Arctic, surviving where countless other ships had sunk. At the time, most ships had deep hulls with straight sides good for sailing, but easily caught and crushed between the huge plates of ice that surrounded ships in the Arctic. To avoid being crushed, Norwegian explorer Fridtjof Nansen, again, probably not how that's pronounced, built a ship to be stronger, rounder, and slippery. It had a shallow profile shaped like the bottom of an egg. When squeezed by ice, the ship would just slip out of its grip. Safe inside the Fram, Nansen and his crew spent many months drifting along on top of the Arctic ice. Thanks to its egg-shaped design, the Fram would survive many Arctic and Antarctic expeditions. So here's the difference in the traditional hull shape and the more successful hull shape in ice. All right, let's do one more. Number 7. Black sand beaches form in the blink of an eye. The most common type of beach sand is made from pale quartz crystals worn down into tiny grains by wind and waves over thousands of years. But one kind of sand can form almost instantly, with entire beaches appearing overnight. Overnight beaches can appear when lava or molten rock from a volcanic eruption pours into the sea. Think of it as a recipe with just 2 ingredients: seawater and lava. And this page gives a sort of illustration showing as a recipe of adding piping hot lava into the seawater to form the black sand. That was a pretty short one, but we'll stop there for today. We can always do more next time if you like this. As always, I would love to hear if you do like being read to and what types of books you like to be read to or that you like to read yourself. I've always enjoyed being read to since I was a kid. I think that's why I enjoy audiobooks and some podcasts. But I hope this video finds you well and maybe a little less anxious. Until next time, goodbye.